Monday. Not a bad start this time. Finally. Seem to be getting it down almost a little bit. 99.1 WDJY, America One Radio, and the rest of the Master Media Network. Like I said, it is Monday, December 9th. We had Pearl Harbor Day 2 days ago. And wow, what a Pearl Harbor of a week last week and this weekend was. Today, let me get a show notes up in front of me here. Today, updates on the Thompson assassination and some new theories that are apparently thrown out there. Bashar al-Assad and Syria and Russia. Go figure. Later on today, it's Both Sides Now with Jane Yergs. She'll be here talking about Studio B and the art. Yeah, Studio B's art galleries. Yeah. One more time. Take 3. Studio B art galleries. New exhibit. Started this past Friday, I think it was. And we're also going to discuss, she and I, a relevant quote for today's society from the French author Voltaire. Pierre's Pot and Morning Motivation. As always, like I said, hang out to the end for today. For Both Sides Now with Jane. First up, today's morning motivation is Gordon Ramsay, the angry guy. Love this dude. I got to find it here. I didn't get a chance to tag it yet on the system. Scroll through. There he is. Share. Boom. Put your head down and work hard. Never wait for things to happen. Make them happen for yourself through hard graft and not giving up. Does it sound familiar? Does it sound like anything we've been doing here? And I'm bringing that up today because it is actually very relevant to some successes we've had or are having. Trying to figure out which way I like this looking here. Maybe like that. That's not bad. Some successes we've had. Last night in the middle of the night. Just goes to show. Some of us work late, and I'm not the only one. I got an email and also reached out through Instagram and through yergs.com. Somebody wants to talk to me. It is a national syndicator that wants to take, I'm presuming, up the middle, unless he really wants to listen to today's episode, which is welcome to, because I love what I do with Jane, who will be joining us in about an hour. I love what I do on Wednesdays with Philip Blackett and Up the Middle, translating Trump. I'm kind of wanting to I almost want to go back to lunchtime happy hour for our Friday. Because it is, as much as I try to keep that part of the week organized, it is a poo-poo sandwich. And I'm trying not to say the S word on the radio. 99.1, you hearing me? I'm trying to be a good boy. But I think about Brian Tyler Cohen, who is one of the best political YouTubers going, operating in what he calls, I like this, the progressive media ecosystem. Like it's alive or something. Like there's deer and bunnies running all over the place. And grottos and deep grottos at, caves with water flowing. This is what a grotto is. But he has his YouTube channel, Brian Tyler Cohen, BTC, which, by the way, is also the 3-letter abbreviation for Bitcoin. Well done, Brian. And just like Brian Shapiro, our friend at KSHP, has Pushing the Limits. Anybody? PTL, Praise the Lord. Jim Baker. I'm coming on his show this week again, I think, or sometime soon. I got to ask him that if that was intentional. If the PTL part of pushing the limit, like he could have called his show anything, but he wanted PTL. So he's like, this is how I am with political discourse and conversation. I push the limits. I'm passionate about the discussions we have. Let's use it. And it just, goes with PTL, praise the Lord, the old Jim and Tammy Faye Baker show. I got to ask him that. But we've been putting our head down. We've been working hard. Last night, I know I said I've been going, and I've been going because I've been wanting to go, but last night, for the first time since April of 2023, more than a year and a half ago, I checked in because I was there and worked out at one of our sponsors, Momentum Fitness and Wellness, Bayonet Point, Jasmine Estates. It's not time for a commercial or anything. They're getting a little extra shout out. But I was there for the first time in more than 19 months. PTSD, anxiety, depression, the last couple of weeks of life of Moby, who we've already, around that same time, did a special episode for. After his passing, 12 years and 13 days. But since then, while fighting PTSD, and since way before that, while fighting PTSD, anxiety, depression, financial issues, because of, again, the poo-poo sandwich that the state of Florida is, I had financial issues that I wasn't getting the financial aid that I was promised. Then Zach wasn't getting it. Then he starts getting it. He does right by me by using those life expenses funding for life expenses, like living here. Then Hurricane Helene happens, and he has to move out. Meanwhile, I was really appreciating getting caught up. Well, I am caught up. Shout out to another sponsor and co-host, Mars. You can schedule her, and I suggest that you do, by going to marcella.com, 2 C's, 2 L's.com, for absolutely amazing. She said that I was going to get have a financial event this year. She said that almost a year ago. And I thought, well, event, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be positive. And on every level, it wasn't. Take this camera, look around the house. Let's see. Let's go that way. There we go. That's through those studded up walls. That's my old bedroom in the background. That's the master bedroom. That's a shower curtain there in the distance. There we go. Behind that's a bathroom and my son's old room, none of which have doors on them anymore, hence the shower curtain. This is now a major construction site. And I'm crooked. Hold on, gang. For those on the radio, the camera was a little cattywampus. So yeah, my whole house is gutted, courtesy of Hurricane Helene. But I found out last week, FEMA is pulling their head out of their rear end. Some neighbors got some pretty decent change, and I'm looking to try to do the same thing. Was denied repetitively, as were they. And now that's changed, so we'll be making that phone call today. I made contact with another neighbor who is taking his one-story house, just like mine, and building up so that the next time a flood like that comes along, we are both much less affected. I don't know if I have any in here. I don't. It's outside. But I have some outdoor furniture made of PVC pipe. That is what my indoor furniture is going to be made from. Why? Because you can move it easily, hose it off, and you're done. Same thing with the lower parts of the walls here where you saw everything torn out. That's going to get something that's much more moisture, water resistant. So I'll need a hose, a push broom, and a mop. And we're done. And then fans, of course, air the place out. But that comes from having put my head down and worked hard and being and there's been no dates. When I say no dates, I mean no social interaction with other good-looking guys like me. I like to still think I'm at least a little good-looking. But I've got something to show for it. My friend Joe's going to help me get my water skis back in the water, help me get my minivan front end finally completely repaired. The struts need to be replaced. The Mastiff Media minivan wrap has been paid for months. We're almost ready to get that sent in. Hopefully over Christmas. That would be so cool. Drop the car off. Get a ride from there to the airport. Go home for Christmas. They have it for whatever period of time they need it for. Hopefully, maybe almost done by the time I get back. I'm not going a whole week, and most of it's over a weekend. So they're going to have it the Monday and Tuesday before Wednesday Christmas. They're not going to have it finished. But at least that would be a great way to start the new year. Even if I got to give it up sooner than that and get some other ride to the airport. We'll see what happens. But I have been working hard. Mars called it. The insurance money that I got and that I'm able to put back into the house is going to improve it, thereby making a financial success, a hardship that we went through, the financial success that she called, because it's going to be increasing the value of my house. I might leave the third bedroom on in the back. I don't know. It is what used to be the studio, which will now be upstairs. My master bedroom will be upstairs. It won't be that big yet because I don't know how much that's going to cost. To do the entire floor, I don't know is going to happen. I just heard a ding. I've been getting these things. Is it because of Facebook? I don't know. But yeah. So my master suite will be upstairs. It will be on some level almost like a kitchenette at first. I don't know exactly. I've got a design already. That's probably going to change drastically, only because my brother's going to piss on it, who's essentially the architect of sorts. He's a contractor that does drawings. I need to, if you're in if you're in the southeastern United States and you're a structural engineer, please call. I'll put the number on the screen. It's 1-888-88-YERGS. For those of you on the radio, maybe our Atlanta peeps are listening. I need a structural engineer. That's what's holding me up. As soon as I get that, we can decide, it can be determined what needs to be done for purposes of building up or not building up? Like, is it totally not an option? Or can I do it? And what do I need to do to fully make that happen? Can I use what's here? Can I use what's here right now? Meaning, can I just put a floor right on top of the block walls that I have already? Probably not. From what I've been told by other contractors in the area, it's not strong enough based on the construction of it, what's underneath it, and the age. Okay, good to know. Let's figure out what I need to do to make this work, because I'm not sitting in this again next year. I'll do what Gordo's saying, put my head down. And most important, I think, never wait for things to happen. Make them happen. And not give up. And now I'm putting a second floor in my house. I'm talking to a company that's going to help better syndicate me later on today, who can also help get actual paying advertising. Not that the affiliates that we have aren't great. They are. But I can work out all day at motivation. I can burn all the scented candles I want. None of that's going to pay the electric bill. None of that's going to put groceries in the refrigerator. I actually need to do things that are going to make money. And so let's do some of that right now. It's 11:20, 99.1 WDJY. Putting this on the screen today, and you can actually see it. This is the list of affiliates. But you can't that way, though. Hold on one second. Let's change this, because we still got Gordon up there. There we go. Boom. Let's bring that back up. There it is. Let's see if we can switch it. That looks better. Trying to think if I could. Yeah, that's fine like that. This is who's sponsoring us so far. I can actually make money through some of this. And this top one, man, jump on this. If you're doing anything with email marketing or for your club or association or anything like that, where you're sending out emails to in mass audiences, go to constantcontact.com. No, don't go to Constant. Go to yergs.com. Go to yergs.com. YERGZ.com. All right, there it is on the screen. YERGZ.com. That's where you get your show notes and any other info about me and the shows and whatever else. But in the scrolling notes that go across the homepage is our list, is this very list of affiliates. And this link is actually, if you click on it on the website, it'll take you to constantcontact.com/yergs or whatever it is. And then you use the Cyber Week 24 promo code. And for a limited time, you can sign up with them and get 40% off whatever program you sign up for. If you spend $40 a month, or let's make the math easy here. If you spend $10 a month, the cheap one, 40% is $4. Now you're paying $6 a month. That is for 3 months. You're going to save $12. Keep that money. And when month number 4 comes around, you're going to get a free month and still have money left over. So enjoy. And they've got so much more now. I'm starting up with text messaging. So when I steal your phone number and I put that in there, I'm going to be able to text you right before going live. Say, hey, we're going live. Tune in. Got a lot to talk about today. Social media management, different campaigns. Like you make one email that's going to do this certain thing every time you send that email. But there's certain code that you add to it through the Constant Contact platform. To do something totally different and to start over every time is a waste. You just make these templates and you just keep these templates off to the side. And when you need the right template, you pick that template and edit accordingly and off you go. It's so much better. And most importantly, when Constant Contact first came out 10 plus years ago, more than that, they were known as spam. Now it helps you kick out the addresses that don't want your information. And you don't want them on your list because they're going to continually report you as spam. And servers are going to recognize your IP address and put your things in the spam or junk folder. That's not where you want it. You want it in an inbox. And Constant Contact is going to help you achieve that. So go to yergs.com and find that affiliates block that's floating across the homepage with other news items and whatever else. Click on that link and then use promo code CyberWeek24. You need my link. You can't just go to, I misspoke earlier. Do not go to constantcontact.com and do this by yourself. You're not going to get it. You've got to do this through me. Up next, Buy Blackett. BuyBlackett.com. That's Philip Blackett from our one-day show, translating Trump. Go to buyblackett.com/Yerks for some cool merch. I got to do that. That's his pizza. Fridays, he goes to lunch with his wife. They do a weekly lunch date. And so instead of getting pizza, I'm supposed to buy from that website. So I'm going to do that later today too. That, FEMA, lots else. Limit Break Digital. That's Jason J. Mongello. Limitbreakdigital.com. Mention me. It was supposed to do a link /Yergs, and it was never seemed to be made. But I talked to him. He will honor 10% off your project by mentioning me. Go to yergs.com. Look that website over. He did it. He did yergergroup.com, which right now looks just more like the hospitality side of the company. It will be going back to being the parent company website soon enough. But he did that website. It was absolutely amazing. God. Aroma by Peter. aromabypeter.com/Yergs. That link is not working right now, so I'm going to get on him this afternoon too. And he'll offer you discounts on scented candles and wax melts. That's what we burn here. And my place smells great. I got 2 large dogs that can make it smell pretty nasty, but he keeps it smelling great. Capital One. If you need a credit card, go to Capital One. Go to yergs.com, find this list, and hit the Capital One link. That's a referral right from me. They'll see that I'm putting my name behind you. And I mean, you know the saying, what's in your wallet, right? Also, if you're looking for a checking account, we can do the same thing through Chase Checking, Chase Bank, where I don't get this, you do. You'll get $300 for qualified people when you open Chase Checking. Frontier Internet, they're giving out a $150 gift card. Why don't I get any of this? I'm actually upgrading. I got the 1K up and down, speed. I want to get the 2K. Apparently, I've got the equipment for it. So And I love the 1K. I loved the slower stuff that I had before. It was way better than you know who. That other company that offered business internet. Rumble. You can get us on Rumble every day. Rumble is one of our destinations that we launched to. And if you want to be one of the paid broadcasters on Rumble, we might be free. I don't know. But if you want all the cool stuff that they offer that maybe we use, I don't know, go to that link, go to yergs.com, hit that link, and it's our affiliate link. Again, we'll help you troubleshoot any of these if you message us and let us know you're having any issues. Finally, Podmatch. I love this one. I love them all. That's why they're on the list. If I didn't like them, I wouldn't do it. But Podmatch, join podmatch.com/Yergs. Podmatch, if you have a show like mine or podcast, it doesn't have to be live. In fact, Podmatch is like podcast, which are oftentimes not live. And you need a guest. Sign up with this because I've met David Beckmeyer through Podmatch. I've met Philip Blackett through Podmatch. I've met some other amazing guests that we've had already through Podmatch. And if you're an industry expert or you have a show that you're trying to promote, you can also register on Podmatch as a guest where shows like me will find you. It's 2 separate registrations, which I think is smart because it keeps you separate and it also allows them to double dip. Because, I mean, honestly, they're providing 2 services to you if you're a host and a guest. So that's only fair. And they do. Alex and his wife, owner and manage the company, do an amazing job with it. So that's the affiliates. That's all of them for right now. Anyway, where are we at? Let's get show notes up here. All right, so the Thompson assassination. Brian Thompson, last Wednesday, in the middle of New York City, the CEO of United Health was assassinated. And I'm calling it that because that's what it is. That's what it was. That guy walked up behind him and with a handgun that is used by assassins, put a couple of rounds in his back, and that was it. And a friend of mine, a real good friend of mine from home, Pennsylvania State Trooper, sent me 2 other theories that are now floating around that are kind of one and the same. One is called FOCO, and I'm FOCO. And I found after some research that it's an abbreviation. Oh, damn it. We never went live on Instagram. I need a producer. Last Friday too, I didn't get anybody. I'm getting like a good number of people, and Friday nobody joined on Instagram. That hurt my feelings. But anyway, FOCO, FOCO, is short for Fochismo, like machismo. Fochismo is basically socialism, is a socialist army. The name was coined or made popular by Che Guevara in Cuba. And he wrote all kinds of things about it and the concept and whatever. And basically, it's a guerrilla militaristic force, also known as terrorists, operating in the countryside of an opposing country. The other theory that Ray gave me was Antifa. So Antifa is a good thing. Now follow me here. Antifa is a good thing. Antifa stands for anti-fascism. I'm Antifa. Proudly saying that. I am anti-Donald Trump. I am anti-Ron DeSantis. I am very anti-Kash Patel. You don't have to agree with me. I don't care. I don't need you to agree with me. I was thinking about that this morning too. When I was thinking about things with al-Assad in Syria, who's fled to Russia, who is at war with Ukraine, who is supported by us. Al-Assad was opposed by us until Trump yanked our forces out of the Middle East. Little known secret. Syria is against Israel. Syria is backed by Iran, who's also against Israel, who's been supported by. Tell me how we're not at world war. Tell me how we're not at world war. And with so many differences in our country, tell me how we're not at some level of a civil war. It might be more cultural than just because we don't have the blue versus the gray from 160 years ago. Doesn't mean we're not at world war or at civil war. When you've got government officials or proposed government officials saying that they're going to use their post for political vengeance. Well, first of all, in case you're wondering, that's not legal. And I know, so did Biden. No, he didn't. Biden stayed out of it. Or at least, he gave the impression of staying out of it. At least he had this thing called common sense to try and make himself look like he wasn't helping his son Hunter. So he lied. Maybe he changed his mind. You think that because he was considering it the entire time, that it was the final decision from day one. Who the hell are you? You're nobody. And that's what I'm going to tell Matt and Blake on Friday. I don't care if you don't think we're at civil war. Fine. Ostrich skin. Put your head in the sand. You don't think we're at world war because we ain't in it. Wake up. You say that we're not in it, yet you turn around and bitch about the money that we're sending to Ukraine and the support that we've been giving to Israel. Oh, but that's okay. I forgot. We're in. It's here. I just heard myself. I think the phone, when I turn the volume down, I have to be on Chatter, which is one of our destinations today, by the way. So far, so good. I have to be on Chatter on my phone to be able to use the desktop version so I can send all this to you on Chatter. Boom. There we are. Speaking of which, something else I forgot to do is share today's show to the community. Yeah, I hear something outside too. That's okay. So, yeah, those are two more theories on why there was the Thompson assassination last week. A third additional theory I heard last week, and actually, of everything I heard so far, I like this one the best. I laughed at it at first. And then I thought, wow, this one might make the most sense. What if Brian Thompson, through assassination, committed suicide? What if he was the client, the paying client? And they're also referred to as the client. The assassins call them the client as the person that they're killing. What if he was both? He's being investigated by the Department of Justice. He knows what he did. He knows that the Department of Justice has a 98% conviction rate because they know what they're doing. And maybe he didn't hide it very well. He's only 50 years old. He's younger than I am. And I'm not saying that there's an age limit before you can be a CEO, but I'll tell you what, he doesn't have the experience that Warren Buffett does. Do you think Warren Buffett never did anything a little bit almost questionable? Promise you he did. And according to Blake and what he says about how millionaires are allowed to sidestep tax laws, that's okay. Well, Brian's not as skilled as Warren Buffett. And so he made the executive decision to off himself so that the family, even his wife from whom he's about to be divorced, and at least the kids, will be well cared for, well taken care of. I'm not saying there's any weight to that other than it fits just as well as everything else does. The shooter's backpack was found since we last talked. And in it was another jacket and Monopoly money. And no, he's not a pro. Ray Schermerhorn, we had that conversation last week too. He said there's been too many mistakes. I'm like, because you think you would not have done that doesn't make it a mistake. And at this point, this is just as much cat and mouse as it is why this or that. And the longer he gets the NYPD and the FBI playing one game, the more difficult it will be for them to win the other. Bashar al-Assad and the 50 years of his family's reign in Syria came to an end this weekend. I saw that rebel forces in this ongoing civil war that's been going on. So you think Ukraine's the only place where stuff like's happening. You think, oh, there was this big hang gliders flew over walls into Israel. That's the only war that's happening in the world. This has been going on for like 7 years, 8 years. And now it's apparently over. Syrian rebels took control of, I forget what it was, but one Assad-held city. They entered into that this weekend. And by the end of the weekend, they controlled Damascus. Well, for those of you who have never heard of Damascus, Syria, that's the capital. That is where Bashar al-Assad runs his country. Well, he's not there anymore. Courtesy of the Russian Foreign Ministry, he has escaped the country and fled to Russia, who will be overseeing the peaceful transition of power to whatever new regime takes over. Yeah, because I'm sure Russia won't be leaving anything behind, like spies. It's 11:43. Jane's going to be here in about 15 minutes or so. And when she is, we're going to be talking about the French author Voltaire, as well as Studio B and the art gallery's new exhibit that started, I think it was this past Friday. So let's take a quick break. 99.1 WDJY, America One Radio, the rest of the Mastiff Media Network. We'll be back right after this. Hey, gang. Does your house smell nasty? Do you want to freshen it up a little bit? Go to aromabypeter.com. Check out all of Peter's candles. It's what we burn here in Studio Yergs. I'm burning right now leather-scented candle. That's right, leather-scented. So go to aromabypeter.com/Yergs and check out his candles today.
I'm Jane Stahl, retired English teacher, and with my BFF, Susan Bebeck, we manage Studio B Fine Art Gallery in Boyertown, Pennsylvania. We showcase the art of hundreds of local artists, publish books of the poetry, prose, and art of local writers, offer classes, art parties, workshops, discussion groups, cater dinners. We've even hosted a wedding. And we're here to be the go-to place for friendship, learning, and fun in our community. Virtual tours of our exhibits are available right here on Yergs Radio. Let us introduce you to some amazing art and artists.
Check out Jane Stahl and everyone at Studio B in Boyertown, Pennsylvania. Please visit our YouTube channel, Talk TV 24. How's your website doing? I'll tell you how mine's doing. It's awesome. Yergs.com is got to be the best website for anybody in podcasting or any sort of broadcast solo journalist like me. How did I get that? Limit Break Digital. Limit Break Digital did my website with Yergs.com. They did YergerGroup.com. They take care of my marketing, my branding, and help me get the message out to you. Go to limitbreakdigital.com/Yergs for 10% off your next project. That's a $3,000 site, Yergs.com. And you can get 10% off that by just going to limitbreakdigital.com/Yergs today. Talk to Jay. That's my guy. We all got a guy, and Jay's mine. limitbreakdigital.com. Hey gang, it's Yergs. Right now, our country is about to embark on yet another controversial presidential election. I have an actual question, legitimate question, as a political scientist and historian by education. If you are a Trump supporter, I want to hear from you. I want to know what your appeal to Donald Trump is at this time. Please email me news, N-E-W-Z, at yergs.com. News, N-E-W-Z, at yergz.com. Thanks. Participants must be willing to provide their contact information, answer a series of questions, and then have their first name broadcast over the radio and social media.
Hi, gang. I had to pee. So I had to let that, I know the election's over. I'm going to do some editing, get that out, but also include FlowSend in with that one. And I'm going to do some other commercials for some of the other affiliates that we went over earlier. So that when I do get to take a break like that, I can actually do it. 1-888-88-YERGS, 1-844-GAY LGBT. Give us a call. Send something in the chat if you're watching on social media. You can kind of do that on Chatter and Discord. We're there also. But just in case, I got to find an email because today's recipient of Pierre's pot was also the subject of, what is it? There it is. Was also the subject. There's Katie too. Oh, it's going to be a busy day. Katie from Sirius Streaming. But where was it? I just saw it. Son of a bitch. There we go. Francis Battaglia of MediaAirtime.com is who messaged me on LinkedIn. Excuse me, no, not LinkedIn. Not anymore. That's old. No more LinkedIn. That's a story. Let me know if you want to hear that. Messaged me on Instagram. Messaged me through yergs.com. And also found my email address. Dude wants to talk. And that's why we had Gordon Ramsay talking about keeping your head down and working hard and moving forward. So for today, we have the usual overlay. Where's it at? There it is. Pierre's pot. In honor of Pierre Robert of 93.3 WMMR in Philadelphia. Radio DJ hero of mine. The dude has been there since 1981 at MMR and the rock station in Philly, the one rock station in Philly. He does a thing where he takes his coffee, huge coffee drinker, just like me, and does a toast of the morning sauce in the direction of some lucky listener or good citizen, as he calls them, for whatever they did to further the city of Philadelphia or the community or another person, whoever. Today's recipient of that is going to be Francis Battaglia, who has clearly made a strong effort to reach out to us here at Mastiff Media. So read that coffee cup too. I can't say it over the radio, but for those of you with video, you get it. This toast of the morning sauce is in your direction, Francis. I will be calling after today's show. Oh, God, I make great coffee too. So, but yeah, there's let's show his website here quick. Dude, there we go. Let's bring that out. And that's New York City skyline. Media airtime. I like the radio tower. Hey, you see that radio tower? Ever see something like that before? Maybe. Let's see. Do I have a thing for it? There we go. There we go. There's a radio tower. MediaAirtime.com is what they do is they do national syndication. So just like I'm self-syndicating, what that means is I am contacting independent, small, talk, whatever stations saying, here's my show. Are you interested? And they can say yes or no, but ultimately I buy the time. It's not like I work for them. And usually in the bigger, like when Howard Stern was syndicating, they paid him. Well, I'm not Howard Stern. And I recognize that. I get it. So, gotta refocus here. There we go. I get that. And so I got to go station by station to get my show nationwide, which are now coast to coast. We're also in London. This guy will help do it in mass. And there's, well, let's see if we can get a little bit better. There we go. There's Francis. Spent his career in radio, so he knows what he's doing that way. At least I hope. It's a pretty good list there in that second to last paragraph. I'm not necessarily a fan of everybody there, but they're still heavyweights in the industry. And here we are, Dennis Miller. Yeah, I used to think Dennis Miller was funny. I kind of sort of still do. But I think his brand of comedy is like so intellectual, most of the people don't get it. And then everybody else you see there, Laura Ingraham, Bill O'Reilly, Herman Cain, they're all right-wing nut jobs, but they're heavyweights. So I can't, and that's who he's working with. So I want to be one of those heavyweights. Just kind of a list here of what they do, which, you know, what I need right now, even more than syndication, is sponsorship. That's because that whole list that we just went over, I can make money off that, but you got to have something. You got to purchase that stuff, or you got to sign up for that stuff so I can make money off of it. And I do, by the way. I get some sort of kickback. I have a free gym membership. I get free candles. Other of those are cash rewards for me. Not $300, but cash rewards. You can only get that once. I can get it more than once. So in theory, I could make more than $300, but people need a checking account. People need a credit card. People need constant contact, whatever it is. Where with ad spots, they pay. I'm still going to be choosy. In other words, I'm not just going to let Joe Blow's business on my show if I don't support them. And they can be a small business in Las Vegas that obviously I'm never going to see. But if it's something that I don't believe in, then no. But I think there's plenty that we will. Some other clients, they go up to 60-minute shows. There's 2 days where we're 2 minutes. So, and that's another thing. I'm not going to split it anymore. If we're going to get Friday, then we're going to get 2 hours. Like Tan Talk we're now talking about the second hour. K-Shop in Vegas I got that confirmation overnight, early this morning. We're back with K-Shop. And I'm not going to case. I like K-Ship because I'm from Pennsylvania where we have Shippensburg University. It fit for me, but I get it. Their station predominantly runs on marketing and shopping. Here's a product, buy it, we win, yay. So KSHP is great for them. K-Shop, I'm with it. And yeah, so they go up to 15, 30. I don't know who does a 15. Well, I mean, think about like David Beckmeyer. I got to forward this to him. And Matt Blake. I'm going to talk to them first and then talk to this guy. Hopefully he's not watching or listening. And say, hey, give me a better deal. I'll give you these 3 or some of these 3. Obviously, I'm going to talk to them first and see if they're interested in the first place. See if Jane's back there yet. Nope. So that's, the different types of time. Media Airtime also syndicates daily radio shows nationally. Well, that's us, actually, because we're daily. where at least an hour, sometimes two, every day, every of the work week, Monday through Friday. And, I want to turn this back into a podcast also. Blog, newsletter, everything. So maybe this will be a good thing to talk to. And there they are. There you go, Francis. You're getting a free commercial. Media Airtime LLC. Francis Pataglia is the president. You can get him at Francis, FRANCIS, at mediaairtime.com. And the phone number there is 602 300 8250. And if you go to mediaairtime.com, there's various places throughout the site where you can message them and also subscribe for their newsletter, which I've already done. So, today's toast of the morning sauce in your direction, Francis. Thanks for reaching out. We will also be back in touch with you. All right, gang. Up next, I'm waiting on Jane. This is odd. But we'll keep moving until she gets here. Did she message? Okay. She only sees herself. Let me work on that. I thought no, I don't know. Okay. Let me email her quick. Comcast. I'm not going to give her an entire email out over the radio. Sorry about that. Reaching out to Jane. She's been here for a couple of minutes, but she's not backstage. So something's going on with the link. And I'll hear her when she, and it says it's red. So she'll be a couple of minutes. Let me set up the new, when she comes in, we're going to be talking about Voltaire. So I'll put that up. Get that ready. So we're into hour number 2 on Chatter, and everything seems to be working fine there. That's good. We had some issues last week, and I reported it, and everybody there is saying, I don't know what you're talking about. So, well, it's not happening. So what would happen is when we started the second hour, the feed to the desktop, what you see in there in video form, would die. And so I would take the desktop connection, log out, log back in, and my room would not be there, even though where I started the room. What in the actual hell? There she is. Hey there.
I hate computers. I'm just
I
saying.
said, still only you. And I'm like, what the hell? I sent her the link from this broadcast. How can
Yeah. I tried one that you had sent a couple of weeks ago, and thought I was all set because it looked like I signed into your studio. But anyway,
So
thanks for the new email or the
we
new
yeah, we
link.
only have one now for that reason, because there was one for Monday for you and me. There was
I know.
and like, if you join us on Friday, join us on Friday. I don't care. Why do you need a separate link for that?
I don't know.
So we just have one link for the whole. And if some guest checks back in and they're
So
backstage, I'll kick them out.
is this one? Is this one? Wait a minute.
Yeah, you can save this one if you haven't saved the last one. Up.
Got it.
Oh,
Are
there
we
you go.
there?
Yep.
Are
There
we
you go.
there?
Yep.
Okay.
I hear you.
All right. Anyway, yay.
Yeah. Very cool.
There we
So
go.
you look great. Look at you, all dressed up. What's
Hey,
happening?
well, thank you for asking.
Yeah, I'm in.
WFMZ, the radio station or TV station in Allentown, and I think they broadcast in Reading as well, are coming to the studio today because they want to interview me about bear fever.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yes, we received a grant, you may remember, from Berks County Community Foundation for a project coming up this summer called The Three Bears, in which we have a variety of things going on. An art exhibit, poetry and prose being published. We're looking to publish a booklet of the in-town bear fever bears, and I'm inviting businesses to participate in one way or another. I'm hoping that we have a scavenger hunt created. I'm hoping that we have some activities on the train and at the library, and Pokemon stops at each of the bears in Boyertown.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So I sent out a press release, when we received the grant, and the radio station or TV station, I believe, is looking to perhaps follow the progress of what we're doing as a result of this grant, because it apparently may be of interest to them. So, that's
Nice.
kind of that's what we're doing. So I thought I should, I'm in my closet, right, this morning trying to figure out what I want to wear. And I thought, well, I don't want to wear Christmas things, even though it's the season, because this needs to be more of a universal look, maybe. And
Right.
so I grabbed some, winter sweaters, and I thought, well, maybe that's not what I should be wearing either. So I grabbed my professional,
That's great.
my
Yeah.
blazer, one of my teaching outfits, my teaching uniforms.
No, for and maybe this is too late of a conversation to have. I thought about it before, but we can still talk about it for other Boyertown area folks and businesses. I think you had commented before you're no longer having any new bears made.
Oh,
Is that
no.
correct?
Oh, no. No, that's not true. We have new bears
Oh,
being made all the time.
I knew you. Well, I think that was part of the problem why I might have thought that, because you said that your artists are quite backed up.
Yes, my artist is quite backed up still. He's coming to the studio
Mhm.
too, by the way, this afternoon to be interviewed. So maybe it will motivate him to get unbacked up. But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
he's a bit backed up, and still people are ordering bears. And for example, the Museum of Historic Vehicles emailed me a couple of weeks ago, I believe. Their bear has been painted. They found their own artist. And so their
Okay.
bear has been painted and it needs to be clear coated and installed. And I need photos of it. And of course, part of this project is, updating the Bear Fever website. And I was able to do that a couple of years ago because one of the employees at Media Fusion, who handles our website, taught me how to manage the website. But that's been a couple years, Ross, and I've forgotten how to do it, and I'm too
Of course.
timid. I'm too timid to play around with it because I'm afraid I'll really mess it up. So I put a call out to Boyertown High School thinking there might be a student who is, young people are really good at this kind of thing, and I'm not, because I'm not young. Anyway,
Well,
I have a student who is, who responded to that. And, I'm still waiting for Media Fusion to maybe give us a little bit of time to just review with me how I'm supposed to do this, even though I have written directions. But they haven't had the time to respond to me yet. I'm hoping that they do. Anyway, the student intern is now, while she's waiting for help from Media Fusion to help with the website, update the website, I have suggested to her that she create a Facebook page for Bear Fever, because we've never had one of those. And
really?
Facebook pages, yeah, and Facebook pages I can manage. That's easy stuff, as opposed to websites.
Well,
So anyway,
what does a bear cost?
oh boy. Okay, now the costs have risen since we first, started this project 20 years ago. Okay, not a surprise. So right now, to order a bear, the form from Chicago, to get it painted and clear coated is $3,500. So, and the artist gets a very meager, modest stipend for doing that, because they spend hours,
Sure.
doing this. At least, some of them do. Anyway, so yeah, so that's what it costs to secure a Bear Fever bear here in Boyertown.
Okay.
Yep.
You put
And
that out
we
there.
have a few, yeah. M&T Bank will be having theirs done at some point. They're hoping to install it sometime in spring or summer. So that's another one that's coming, in addition to the Museum of Historic Vehicles. And there is a Merkel shoe store bear that is somewhere in hiding. And there may be another one. I can't remember. Yeah.
Business,
Some
huh?
firemen, not firemen, police, the police, Eastern, I forget what it's called, but the police department in and around this area, that includes not just the borough of Boyertown, but also called, pardon me?
Eastern Berks.
Perhaps.
Yeah, because
Perhaps.
Boyertown used to be their own.
Yep.
Copelandale used to be their own. Bechtelsville used to be very small and was their own, and I think they merged with Copelandale first.
Yeah.
And
So
then isn't that department also Douglas Berks now too?
I believe so. Yeah.
Douglas Township, Berks County.
Yeah, I believe so. Anyway, they have a bear in waiting. So that's with Jeff Graber also, I think. Anyway, I've lost track. I have CRS, can't remember stuff.
Yeah. Been there.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's why I'm dressed. So that's why I'm kind of dressed up today. I do have my sneakers on though, so I'm not in stilettos.
Yeah.
Paul and I were talking about pundits who are walking around in 5-inch heels. I don't think I was ever able to. I'm too klutzy.
Where did I hear? Oh, you know who Hakeem Jeffries is, right?
What?
Hakeem Jeffries.
Yes.
He's the leader of the Democratic Party in Congress, in the House.
Yes. Really like him. Yep.
Telling about, me too. He was telling Brian Tyler Cohen, a YouTuber, a progressive liberal YouTuber, about his first trip to
him. Yes.
You know BTC also?
Yeah.
Which is also Bitcoin.
Yeah.
That was good. He's telling about his first trip to the White House. And you know that the new style for men in suits is to wear what they call dress sneakers.
Oh.
Have you seen this? I've seen it for the first time at the conventions over the summer, this past election, the DNC and the RNC. People would be on stage in a suit like you wear to an event like that. But they're in like these casual shoes, not your basic black wingtips or, dress shoes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Alan Edmonds or something like that. They're in more like uh, Steve. There's another guy I'm thinking of, a designer. It's a casual dress shoe,
Yeah.
like white soles on the bottom that
Okay.
really stand out. Almost looks like a bowling shoe.
Oh, horrible.
Kind of.
Bowling
Um,
shoes are really, really, really lame. I'm sorry.
yeah, yeah, it's kind of like that trend that may or may not be still alive. The power socks.
Power
Remember that?
socks? No,
Like
I'm not
black
familiar.
suit and black shoes, but you have these bright pink socks on that stand out underneath your suit pants,
It
or
reminds me
worse
of Kevin. It reminds me of
some
Kevin
sort of
Zimmers
pattern.
here in town, who wears bright lime green socks and gives pairs of those colored socks to all his Boy Scouts.
Yeah. So now the thing is to do it with the shoes.
Oh, brother.
Sort of still
Yeah.
matching. They're
Well,
sort of still matching.
I
Um,
liked seeing
it's not
Kamala.
power color.
I
Yeah.
liked seeing Kamala wear sneakers on stage. I thought that was
Yeah.
really smart. In her
It
suit, in her pantsuits. Yeah.
yeah. So it's the joke behind this was
Okay.
that's him. And I'm sitting here in a Rolling Stones t-shirt with a Sea-Doo shirt underneath,
Yeah, yeah,
the tight Under Armour type shirt.
yeah.
That's me. If you want me on your show. In fact, this
That's
past
who you
summer,
are.
when the local TV station had me on to talk about the Trump assassination attempt, this is how I dressed. And I had
Mhm.
long hair. I did
Mhm.
not look like a Secret Service agent.
Mhm.
And so he's thinking to himself as he's getting dressed to go to the White House, he's going to be there with Mitch McConnell, Chuck Schumer, Speaker Johnson, or whichever speaker was in charge then, and Joe Biden. And he's like, well, should I wear real dress shoes
Mhm.
or should I be me?
Mhm.
And I said, I'm going to be genuine and who I am, and this is what I'm going to wear. And he cracked an ageism joke by saying and thanking Mitch McConnell for also wearing sneakers.
No kidding.
But it was is like he wears the all black dress
Yeah,
sneaker dress shoe with like the Velcro and
right. Oh God,
what all of us
Velcro.
old men wear.
No Velcro. No Velcro. No.
But everybody got that. Mitch McConnell was not wearing trendy sneakers. He was wearing all black Velcro ones.
Oh God, Velcro.
But yeah. So Studio B has a big startup, or had.
We had an opening on Friday.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And town was busy because the businesses were supposed to decorate outside or inside, and people were invited to come and visit all the businesses that were dressing up for Friday night. And of course, Studio B had an opening, so folks came to our opening. It was really lovely. It was really lovely. I mean, sometimes our usual openings are packed tight. This time it was a wave of people because there were art openings all over Berks and Montgomery County this weekend. And so people came in waves, and it wasn't so packed. So you got a chance really to talk to people for real instead of just the usual small talk. So that was nice. And then they would leave and another wave would come in, and that was nice too. So anyway, it was a really nice opening. It was a really nice opening, and the art is great. Now, the studio on Friday, this coming Friday, is hosting breakfast at 7:30 in the morning. Yeah, it's 7:30 in the morning to a group I still belong kind of, but I don't really attend their every Friday breakfast at 7:30. I'm usually not out of my pajamas much before 9.
Yeah,
Right?
I remember 8. I remember getting you active at 8 o'clock from home. and you politely decline further invites. So
Right. You
7:30
got it.
somewhere.
Yes,
Wow.
yes, yes. But this particular group, I used to go to their breakfasts. At 7:30 in the morning, we'd go to different restaurants all over the several counties around here just to try things out. And it was really nice. And then COVID hit, and we
Mm.
met outside for a while. And then I decided, nah, I'm staying home.
Is this just like is this like a card club? A bunch of ladies
it's
getting together,
it's
or just like a tri-county chamber?
it's kind of it's called Family Community Business, FCB Network. And
Okay.
it's a variety of people and a variety of different occupations who, kind of get together, have become fast friends. They do things, together, not only at breakfast and so forth. But anyway, I had invited the group to Studio B for Christmas, just to have breakfast in a more casual setting rather than a restaurant. So I invited them to Studio B, and people brought stuff. I remember making breakfast casseroles or buying
Mm.
breakfast sandwiches from different places, and people brought fruit and orange juice and bagels and all kinds of stuff that they wanted to eat. We had coffee and we hung around for a while. When we had Christmas gatherings, Christmas breakfast, they did a Secret Santa thing, and people brought gifts of $20 or something like that, and exchanged them to it, and that was just a really fun time. The last one that we had, I invited my friend Dave because he, in another group, in another lifetime, used to enjoy making blueberry pancakes for us when we'd get together for breakfast. And so I said, Dave, how about bringing your grill and cooking blueberry pancakes, and I'll introduce you to my group, my FCB group. And so he came and made blueberry pancakes for the group. And we had all kinds of other things as well. But he came, and that was his first time to meet with this particular group. Another of my friends, Jim, he also brought his grill and was making, eggs or omelets or whatever that people request. I mean, it was a really fun time at Studio B. Anyway, subsequently, my friend Dave has become part of the group and attends regularly. I do not, but he does. Anyway,
Oh,
he's coming on Friday and making his blueberry pancakes, and Jim is coming also on Friday with his grill. I have no idea what he's going to make. He asked me what I was expecting, and I said, whatever you feel like making, do it. So it should be a fun time. It should be a
sure.
fun time on Friday morning. And I'll have to be up at 6, imagine,
Yeah, I
and
was
out of
gonna
my
say that.
pajamas by
Yeah,
6:30. But
that's
it'll be
that's
fun.
not that's not walking in the door at 7:30.
No.
That's you ready to go.
Yes, yes. Now I
Well,
did get the tables out yesterday, and I'm
yeah,
thinking I probably should have waited since this TV crew is coming today, but I might have to put them away for a time or shove them in the back or something like that.
yeah,
So
behind that
anyway,
bar or something.
we should have about 13 people on Friday or so. We'll see.
Okay,
I'll update you next Monday.
yeah. Which, speaking of which, that will
Yes.
be our last live show before the holidays.
Okay.
Following Monday, the following Monday is the Monday right before Christmas, and I will
Yay.
be in Boyertown for that.
Yes. Are we meeting on Monday?
Uh, I
You're
won't be able
just
to
getting
work.
in on Sunday. You're just getting in
No,
on
I'm getting
Sunday.
in. I'm getting in Saturday
Oh, Saturday.
afternoon.
That's right.
Afternoon,
That's right. It's on my
Saturday afternoon,
calendar.
Saturday
Yep.
evening, something like that. Um,
We'll make
and
a plan.
yeah, so for whatever, I am just realizing some of the title. Ugh.
What are you doing?
Is with sending this show to different platforms, YouTube, Facebook,
Yeah,
Twitch, all of them.
that's fantastic.
Sometimes it edits the data, like what we're talking about today,
Okay.
and sometimes it doesn't. And I
Okay.
just looked up in the corner of the screen, and it said up the middle, Pizza Friday.
Yeah,
And that
I
was
saw that.
Friday.
What was that?
That was last Friday. That was this past Friday's episode. And I went and edited at Destination, but 8 times I edited the information so that it was
Mhm.
right. And then I look up in the corner of the screen for like the
It's
whole broadcast
still
and
Pizza Friday.
for Friday. Uh,
Like I said, and when we started, I hate computers.
yeah. Yeah.
I love them. It's a love-hate relationship. They are
I say it every
absolutely
show.
amazing.
I say it every show. I need a producer.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah.
Um,
I need
so
help.
we talked about some things. I found something, and I don't know where
Mm.
I got it. I was just updating I have a file on my desktop that changes the background of my monitors, like the desktop of my monitors, the screensavers. It's a bunch of different quotes from like celebrities and whatever
Okay.
that have influenced me. The quote has influenced me. And then I talk about that quote during the show in the segment called Morning Motivation.
I love it.
I already did today, Gordon Ramsay. I can share that one. I got the current one, but I'll bring this one back. I talked about Gordon Ramsay early in the first hour, and I talked about how some news that I've got, and he says, "Put your head down and work hard. Never wait for things to happen. Make them happen for
Mhm.
yourself through hard graft and not giving up."
Mhm.
And we are now talking to later today a company that does syndication of shows.
Mm.
So
Mm.
finally, I'm not going to have to do this all by myself all the time. Something else is going to do it for me, and possibly, we'll talk with them. And we just over the weekend, actually early this morning, confirmed that KSHP in Las Vegas has accepted our counteroffer to extend through March.
Fantastic.
So, and we sent the same sort of the same deal to Tan Talk here in Tampa. Haven't heard back from them yet. I'll call them. I got a long afternoon ahead of me. I got FEMA. I got this guy from, I forget where he's from, but the airtime company that does the syndication. And they also do ad sales, which is the bigger deal for me right now, is to
For
turn some of
sure.
the affiliates into sponsors,
Yep.
paying sponsors. But it's been a lot of hard work and it's paying off. And that was, today's
You
point.
have worked so hard. Yep. Yep.
So
Yep. I'm
additionally,
really happy for you. Good.
what I thought was also to kind of go with that's Chester Bennington, the late, great
Mm.
Chester Bennington. He was a fan of another rock star who unfortunately took his own life, and he did it soon thereafter.
Uh-huh.
But bring this up so we can talk about this next one. I saw this one too when I was just basically shopping for a bunch of others,
Mhm.
and I thought this really fits us in the political spectrum.
Oh boy.
Voltaire. I told you we might talk about. I didn't say which quote. And what he has said is that it is difficult to free fools from the chains they revere.
Mhm.
Do we know anybody like that?
Just a few.
Yeah.
Yes. 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 Yes.
And
And I'm sure they see us in that quote as well.
yeah. Yeah.
We're all tied into whatever provides for us. And that's how I see chains at this point. Whatever
Yeah.
provides for us some sort of security or a feeling of I don't want to say power, but that's what it is, I suppose, control from which gives us a sense of security that we have some control over what happens to us. Those are the chains that we revere because they provide some sort of security for us, right?
Is that also Is that also why victims, female and male,
Yes,
of
I know
domestic
where
violence?
you're going. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. They stay in a relationship because it's what they know,
yeah,
and how does the quote go? The something you know is better than what you don't know.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
So,
I just, yeah,
mhm,
I
yeah.
don't get it. What's fascinating this time around, one party has been bitching about the other since we went to a two-party system.
Hmm.
The founding fathers advised us not to do,
Hmm.
but never before. And as a political scientist, I think I get to say this, by education. I'm not lecturing anywhere, but I've never seen the internal opposition within a party,
Within one party.
within the party against their guy, and then he turns around and wins.
Hmm.
How do you do that?
Hmm. The
And
devil they know is better than the devil that they don't know.
yeah, and,
Hmm.
and I was trying to convince months ago Blake and Matt from the Friday show
Mm.
that one, it may not be the blue versus the gray, but our country is in civil war.
Hmm.
And it may not be as active with boots on the ground,
Hmm. Well,
but
you said
the
it too about the world.
yeah,
We are
exactly,
in a world war.
correct. And I'm like, and I thought about this quote here from Voltaire, and the people who the entire Joint Chiefs have said, don't vote for Trump.
Hmm.
40 out of 44 previous cabinet members have said, don't vote for Trump. Almost 300 prominent Republicans from federal to state to local have said, I'm not voting for Trump.
Hmm.
These are all on some level experts about Republican politics.
Hmm.
And I keep bringing up the example from my childhood, I guess. Gary Hart, who had
Hmm.
a photo of a woman taken on his lap.
Hmm.
Boom, he's out.
Right.
What's the I can picture him. I can't think of his name. He was actually in charge of the Democratic Party right after this happened. Remember the guy who won like the Iowa caucus or something, or maybe New Hampshire primary, and he
Hmm.
goes, "Yeah." Everybody thought that was so weird for him to do. Boom,
Yes.
he just tanked.
Yep. Yep.
Being cheerful for having just won a major election in a
Hmm.
primary is something you should be cheerful about.
But we
And
can't be
yet,
too cheerful. Yeah.
and yet that guy tanked, and we haven't seen him since, other than little known fact,
Wow.
he was after that the chair of the Democratic National Committee, and I'm brain farting on what his name is,
Mhm.
but
But I know who you mean, and I remember that moment, and I remember how it
yeah,
was received. Yes.
yeah,
Can I remember the person? No.
yeah, I can't think of it either, but
Hmm.
how does the popularity of this guy, for reasons nobody can define,
It is. It,
don't tell me he's going to fix the economy when it's already, I'm seeing prices in my grocery store worse than what they were under Biden. And let's be real, as a lame duck president, he's not going to fix the groceries now.
no,
So what
groceries
you're
are done.
seeing is Trump.
You know what? I do not know. I mean, I do not know. You would think someone with integrity, with the same kind of charisma, but with integrity, would be would capture our hearts. And yet we have this degenerate. How's that?
Yeah.
I'm
When he
sorry.
won the first time, soon after that, I was able to make a trip to visit, well, some friends because of the number of trips I've made already. But I went back to my other home country of Belize in Central America.
Okay.
And all my friends down there were like, Yergs, what the hell?
What the hell? Right.
And I said, that is the beautiful thing about our country. You
Mhm.
don't have to be a career law school trained politician to be the president of the United States.
Mhm.
The downside is the best we can do is Donald Trump.
Mhm. But he has
We don't have
captured.
we don't have Tillman Fertitta,
Mhm.
a right-leaning billionaire entrepreneur. We don't have Mark Cuban, a left-leaning billionaire entrepreneur. We have this asshat.
Mhm.
And that's the fact that we still have him is what I think is scary. The Facebook post I made a couple of weeks ago, if you don't understand why a gay friend of yours is scared,
Mm.
then you
You
don't
don't have a friend. You don't have a
have
friend.
a
You
gay
have an
person.
acquaintance. Yeah.
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 There it is. Sheila McNicholas checking in, former
Oh,
coworker.
we know
Howard
Sheila.
Dean. Yep, I do know Sheila really well. I met her prior to my time in San Francisco, but then we worked together in San Francisco and kept in touch ever since. And she's right. It's
Fantastic.
Howard Dean. Thanks, Sheila.
Thank you, Sheila. Never in a million years would that name have come to me. Never.
Pittsburgh native, and as you can see, a Penguins fan.
Mhm.
So we've disagreed on some things during the course of our career, being
Fantastic.
Flyers fan, plus now the Bolts down here in Tampa Bay Lightning. Thanks for that, Sheila. Well done. But yeah, it's just people can't let go. I think a lot of it is they can't admit that they're wrong.
Well, let me
Because I
also
think
offer this. I mean, not that it's an explanation, but one of the things that happened to me this week was that our our shared friend Chris, we'll keep his name out of it for now,
Okay.
but put up some sort of rant that came to my Facebook page about Biden's pardoning his son. And in all caps, he reminded us that nobody is above the law and how horrible it was that Biden pardoned his son. I mean, and it hit me like a pie in the face. And it's like,
are you going to make me look this person up?
can you can complain that nobody is above the law and still support what's his name. And I wrote back, I was furious, and I said, I am done with you, get out of here. And I mean, he wrote back and said, I still feel that way, of course, but I'm sorry you are done with me. I will remember you and what you taught me as a teacher. But I thought, oh my God, talk about
that, Chris?
Yes.
Like from my class?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And I thought it was kind of a final straw, Ross.
Here's the
me.
thing with the whole thing.
What
Joe Biden did by pardoning his son is legal. He didn't break the law.
but
He
our
may have
buddy,
some are accusing of him of lying, like he
our
was
buddy,
going to pardon him all along.
our well, oh, and that infuriates me as well.
Maybe
All
he changed his
his
mind.
fellow Democrats who are on his case
Matt
because
Deemer's
he
one of them.
changed his mind. Get out of here.
Guys,
You have a visitor?
I don't think so.
Maybe you should check on your people.
Guys, relax. There's a lot of people that just got like permits from the county. So there's a
Okay.
lot more construction even beyond what has been
Okay.
going. I didn't see that. I know who you're talking about.
hmm
And that makes me crazy because
I
Joe
threw him
Biden,
off my page, at least temporarily. You know,
yeah,
he
Joe
still
Biden can make
corresponds
the
to me.
law.
Well,
Donald
and-
Trump pardoned his brother-in-law.
Mhm.
And now just recently named him as the ambassador of France.
Mhm. Yep.
Talking about being above the law.
Yeah.
That's
I
a
can't.
six-figure job.
I
that
can't
nobody
stay. But
turned down.
for me, it was like a watershed moment. I cannot be involved with these people anymore. I cannot. It's a waste of time. It's
Yeah.
a waste of time,
Yeah.
and I have work
It's-
to do. So get out
Yeah.
of my face, move out of my way. I have no time for you, not to mention respect.
Yeah, where is that? I don't think it's on here yet. I think it's on my phone. Morgan Freeman has a quote about
Ooh.
removing people like this from your life and how it's going to keep you healthier by not
Mm.
associating and
Mhm.
disassociating and so on. But yeah, I know who you're talking about now, and I'm surprised and I'm not surprised because our mutual friend Randy from that same group had similar
Okay.
views,
Okay.
and it's just like, look, I know Joe Biden said he wasn't going to do it. But when he said that, even though he was when you're the president of the United States, you just don't go take a dart, throw it at a dartboard and go, there's my decision.
Yeah.
You look at that dartboard and all of the options that are there, and you walk up to it and you place various darts all over it. And you say, here's some of the things we're going to do. And so even though when he first said that he was not going to pardon his son, I promise you he was considering it. That's what a president does. That's why
And-
they've got a cabinet and advisors.
And those were the days, maybe, where we had more hope that what people have called the guardrails would hold,
Yeah.
and maybe
Yeah.
more hope that what's his name would not take over as the president and start spewing about locking up military people, executing military
That's-
people, locking up.
That's what I tried to tell Blake
mean-
and Matt was that when that first I'm not going to pardon my son came about, Joe Biden was still the candidate.
Mhm.
He was still running. And he and everybody else thought he was going to get reelected.
Yep.
He wasn't going to need to pardon his son. Because in 4
Right.
years from now, this is going to be old news.
Mhm.
And everybody's going to be like, Hunter who?
Yeah. But yeah, so, it was a different time when we felt safer about the Justice Department, about rational thought, we weren't thinking about this revenge tour
Yeah.
that what's his name is planning. And it was safer to say, okay, I'm going to let the courts decide. I'm going to stay out of it. It's not safe anymore.
Right. And that's a bunch of the points I tried to make was that he's allowed to change his mind. One. This is why I'm digging my heels
Honest-
in
Listen,
about the Civil
I-
War and the World War III. Who the hell are they?
I think the important argument is not about he has a right to change his mind and it's a legal thing that he did. I think the more important argument is how unsafe we all are
Yes.
under Trump and his potential and his nominees, his potential people. We are not safe. None of us.
Nope. Yeah, I agree.
Although
that was the argument I was making as to
Okay.
defending to them on Friday, was for the reason for defending the preemptive pardons that everybody's anticipating
Yes.
Biden to still do.
Yes, and I hope he does.
Yeah. Liz Cheney, Adam Kinzinger,
Absolutely. Yep.
all of them. And
all those guys. Yep.
let Trump be the bad guy by pardoning the January 6th people.
Yep. 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 Whatever. Yeah.
Do you need when is your interview at the studio? Do you need to get going?
2:00. So I have time. I can finish our program today, unless you have something else you'd like to do.
I was just
move along.
gonna take a quick break and let the dogs outside, and
Okay.
then cut you loose if you needed to go or
Okay.
whatever. But
Okay.
I think we need to push the bear fever thing. Do they ship? Like
They are fabricated rather. They are fabricated in Chicago and shipped to Boyertown. Yes, and that's yeah.
So I mean, like what if I got one for down here?
Yeah. We'd ship
Would I
it
just
to
have
you.
to find, or
I
would I
mean-
just have to find an artist down here? Would that be better?
Oh yes. Oh yes. Yeah, I don't want to ship one from Boyertown to Tampa. I would suggest that you find an artist in your area. Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
that would definitely be. I mean, there's no other bears down here.
It'd be so cool.
Yeah, I don't.
That would be so cool. Is
That'd
that
be
what
cool.
you're asking for Christmas?
No, because I think that's a pricey Christmas gift. But
Yeah, I think
I
that's a
think
little above your. Yeah,
I think definitely in the new year we can
Yeah.
make that happen.
yeah.
Um,
Okay, well, why don't you
I'm going
take
to
a
take a
break?
break later this week about next week's show, and then
Okay.
do you think we can get together and like record something for Christmas Monday, the 23rd?
Sure.
So
Yeah,
we can
I'll
have
hold that day
to
open. Yeah,
WDJ. Well,
absolutely.
we won't be doing it that day. We'll be doing
Okay.
it before
You
I said before the 21st. Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, it would be next week at the latest, so I can get it to Atlanta and any other station
Sure.
that's going to do that in our place.
Yeah, I can make myself available. Just let me know when it would be convenient for you. I have a pretty easy next couple of weeks. I haven't planned much of anything. So
if not this week, then the beginning of next week.
yes.
So that's it edited into Atlanta.
Yeah, well, we'll do our show next Monday, and then sometime after that, we'll record a Christmas thing. Okay.
Cool. All right, my dear.
Hey,
Well,
what we should do for our Christmas show? I'll be at the can sing Christmas carol thing.
I'll bring.
Just kidding.
Well, no, I'll bring Marcella on. She sounds amazing. She's really good. So if you are a remotely talented piano player, I don't like saying pianist. That just if you're a remotely talented piano player, I can be here, waving to everybody while the two of you are playing and singing, and off we go for an hour.
Oh no, we're not doing that.
Okay. All right. Well then, no. All right. All right, everybody.
We're
We're
not
going to
doing
take a
that.
break. We're going to let this young lady go,
Okay.
and we're going to let the
All
dogs
right.
outside.
Always good to
99.1
see you.
WDJY.
Okay.
We got to do our ending too. Go ahead.
Okay.
And I'm Jurgs.
And this is Both Sides.
All right, everybody. We will see you again next week. I'll be back to wrap up after this. See everybody.
Okay. Take care.
Video.
Hey, gang, it's Jurgs. Do you have a podcast? Of course you do. It's probably one of the reasons why you listen to us. Well, I got something for you. flowsend.ai. All you do is take your pre-recorded data, click, drag, and drop right into the inbox for Flowsend AI. Click a button, and out comes everything that you're going to need. From the transcript to content, such as keywords, titles for your episode, the timeline, posts for LinkedIn, posts for Twitter, Instagram, other smaller platforms, all the things that it takes you hours to do in literally minutes. So go to flowsend.ai. Tell them Jurg sent you and get your subscription today. Worth every penny. Flowsend.ai.
I'm Jurgs from Up the Middle. I've finally begun to reach out to my own listeners with Constant Contact. Use both my link and promo code CyberWeek24 and get 40% off your first 3 months. 40%! But more importantly, you'll have all the same benefits and tools that I do. All the same templates, and all of the same success. So get my Constant Contact link where you get all of my links by going to Jurgs.com. You still have time to reach out to your contacts in time for the holidays. Go to Jurgs.com, click on my Constant Contact link, and use promo code CyberWeek24 for 40% off. Remember, you need both my link and the promo code CyberWeek24. Jurgs and Constant Contact. We deliver success. Hey, gang. Sorry about that. Potty break. All right. Everybody. So check out Studio B by going to studiobbb.org, studiobbb.org, also marcella.com, marccella.com. Get a reading from her. I'm telling you, she knows what she's doing. She knows her stuff. Stop in at Studio B in Boyertown, Pennsylvania, and see the new exhibit. Also, check out Bear Fever, also in Boyertown. You can reach any of us by going to news, NEWZ, at Jurgs, YERGZ.com. And you can go to studiobbb.org to reach Jane, or marcella.com to reach Marcella. You can learn more and get show notes and everything else by going to Jurgs.com and mastiff.media. That's a website. That's a web address. Mastiff with 2 F's, proper spelling of mastiff.media. And get anything you want to know about Up the Middle, about Jurgs by going to Jurgs.com. And also JurgerGroup.com will soon be back to being the parent company website, not just the hospitality wing. That's it. I think I got 9 minutes yet. Whoops. So yeah, that's pretty much it for today. But the thing that we were talking about the hard work and whatever, we've come to an agreement with K-Shop, KSHP in Las Vegas. We're going to be Wednesdays at 11. We always start at 11 Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. So 11 Eastern, 8 Pacific on K-Shop, KSHP, AM and FM. Wednesdays for the 1 hour show then with Philip Blackett, Up the Middle, translating Trump. And also Friday at 11 a.m. for 1 hour. They've got another show at 9 local time, noon our time. So we can't do the whole 2 hours there yet. Our next, once we grow, the next hour that we're going to get at K-Shop is going to be today, the Monday, 8 a.m. local time. And I don't know, I want that to be part with Jane. So maybe we can work her into the first hour instead, because they've got the same show that's on Friday on Monday. They're Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And unless we can get that moved, once we show, hey, we're nationally syndicated, media airtime, we're getting sponsors to the station, and we'll be more like Brian Shapiro is for that station, bringing in income for the station. Then they're going to have to kind of say, okay, you know what? You're doing it. Let's do this. But then once we're Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, our next goal is to be Tuesday and Thursday. And I get it. I'm sure they don't want to turn into a talk station when their biggest thing is shopping. But there's also got to be room for growth. So there's that. We put a similar offer in over the weekend to the Tan Talk Network, which is also expired. And we're starting, actually, K-Shop came back and said, we're going to continue to do your show. I'm off over Christmas, although I'll be back that Friday. I'm just taking Monday through Thursday because I leave here the Saturday before Christmas. I'll be in home Pennsylvania Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Christmas Wednesday. The Thursday immediately after Christmas, the 26th, I've got an early flight direct back to Tampa from Allentown, Pennsylvania. And I could possibly be back here in time. I can't guarantee that. So I'm scheduling that off with all networks. The only ones affected those days at this time will be WDJY in Atlanta. And I'm going to give them the proper notification that they're going to get recorded episodes for those 4 days. But brain farting, sorry. Friday of that week, I'll be back. And we'll be back with, I want to go back to calling that Friday the lunchtime happy hour. And this is what I was talking to about with Jane about Brian Tyler Cohen. He's got his YouTube channel, Brian Tyler Cohen. And then he has Glenn Kirshner on. I think they do Democracy Watch. And he had Congressman Jamie Raskin on for this educational thing. I forget what they called it. And then there's another attorney that comes on, and they do a separate show, he and Brian. And then there's the guy, Tim Miller, who is the Republican strategist, who's, also kind of a homeless conservative of sorts, in that they do together a show called Inside the Right. And it's all on BTC, Brian Tyler Cohen's channel. So I'm thinking similarly under the same brand, up the middle, because I don't want my name. I'm proud to put my name on it, but it's not about me. It's about what we're doing. And going up the middle is not just a mix of who I am as a person, but I think it's a huge, makeup of society. So I'm thinking about bringing back the lunchtime happy hour for Fridays. And that's it. But yeah. And then, Psycho and the Psychic on Thursday. That's when Mars is with me. That's when we're not political. We're not on anywhere else but WDJY on Tuesdays and Thursdays right now, except for Jurg's radio and social media and so on. There's no other terrestrial stations. So, that's where we're going right now. Great start to the week, everybody. Great show again today. Tomorrow, we're going to have another update on Brian Thompson and see where that's at, see where Syria is at, and any other updates on the rest of the Mastiff Media Network. Thanks for joining us today. Thanks for running with the big dogs. Thanks for going up the middle with us and taking a look at both sides now. We'll see you again tomorrow. I'm Jurgs. Have a great day. Where is that song? It's not on there anymore. Alrighty then. Well, then we'll play it over here.
Wake up, goddammit!
Yeah, really, right? All right. See you, everybody.